Hello there guys, I am back and I'm going to be back today with my Premier League predictions for this upcoming season, the 2019-20 season. As I'm recording this, 2 games have been played, but I'd already made my predictions before this. This is just the earliest point actually I could actually make this video, so I wanted to make it anyway. It shouldn't really affect my decisions too much. You know, I've seen the Liverpool game, I've seen the Man City game, we know how strong they are, we know how many goals they like to score, and that's that. You know, there's nothing that's going to change my predictions from that. I already made them the night before that any of the games have been played, so my prediction is going to be completely... As soon as the transfer window's ended, I put these together whilst I was away, and now I'm basically going to be making the video on them. So yeah, regardless of any of the results, this isn't going to be affecting my prediction, and I'm going to be giving you guys what I think is going to be coming up this season in the Premier League. These are going to be my predictions. We do this every year. Drop a like if you do enjoy it, and let's get started. So as you guys can see, I have this table on my right-hand side, I think. On my right, your guys' left, I think, when you're watching the video. And it's going to be the table basically showing you guys all the positionings of each team. And 20th, I'm going to go with Sheffield United. You know, maybe the generic choice, but I just can't see anyone else finishing bottom other than them. I don't know if it's because, you know, out of the 3 clubs that have come out, they just seem the less like Prem proven. Probably because they are, but you know, do they have enough Premier League quality in their side? I'm not really sure. I don't exactly know a lot about them, but then again, I don't think a lot of people do. Are they going to stay up? In my opinion, no. I can see them coming 19th or 20th, but I had to put them 20th, you know. I don't know what they're going to bring to the Prem this season. They could be a surprise package. I don't think they've done too badly in the window, but I don't actually know if they've actually got enough Premier League quality in their side, if they are, in order to stay up, essentially. The players they brought in, you know, they're decent little players, but are they going to be, you know, players that are really going to be match-changing? I'm not entirely sure, so that's why I'm going to have to put Sheffield 20th, because I just can't see anyone who's as weak as them right now. In 19th, I've gone for Brighton. Basically every year I do Premier League predictions, I say Brighton are going to go down. They never do. And you know, this season could be the same. You know, I've gone ahead and put them 19th again, but are we going to see them stay up? You know, maybe. It's always hard to do around the bottom sides. I don't really know who's going to be going down. I don't know if their manager's good enough in Graham Potter. You know, people have said good things about him, but you know, I haven't exactly heard a lot of him. What can he bring to the table? What can Brighton do this season? You know, can Maupay up front? Is he going to bring the goals? Glenn Murray, is he going to be as prolific as he always is? You know, you just look around at Brighton's side and you're looking for players who are going to win games, and I don't know if they have enough of that. But then again, you know, I always say this about Brighton and they always end up surprising me, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. But for Brighton, I think it's a similar one to Sheffield. You know, do they have that quality? Are they going to be able to do yet another season in the Premier League and stay alive? I've said no. I've tipped them to come 19th. 18th, as much as it pains me to say, I've gone for Norwich. I just don't think, you know, this is regardless of last night, because I still thought they played really well last night. They played better last night than I expected, actually. But, you know, the way they defended was poor, and, you know, we kind of knew that coming into the season. You know, their centre-backs don't look that good. I know that one of their main ones was injured, but, you know, are they going to be able to keep up in the Prem? I don't think so, and if I had to tip another team to go down with Brighton and Sheffield, it would be Norwich. You know, they're not defensively good enough. Their signings are good. I think they've done well with a little amount of money they've spent. You know, Dermich has come in, Farman in goal, Amadou, he can be midfield or centre back for them. That can be vital in my opinion. He had some good games at Sevilla last season, actually. Surprised maybe either they didn't keep him or another team didn't pick him up, and Norwich have got him. I was impressed with that addition, if I'm being honest. You know, when some of these signings come in, you know, they could affect Norwich's game big time. They could have a great season. I still feel as if I wouldn't be surprised if Norwich stayed up. But out of all of the 20 teams, I had to pick 3 to go down, and I've had to put Norwich in there, unfortunately. I could see them staying up, but I think this is going to go to the final day, and I think Norwich are going to end up going down. In 17th, we've gone for Aston Villa. You know, that's all of the 3 promoted teams out the way now, and I think Villa are going to be the one to stay up this season, simply because they've spent a lot of money. But the reason I put them this, though, is also because of that. I just feel they've spent so much, they have now enough quality to stay in the league, and I can't see them going down. But I also think they've changed that team too much. You know, we've seen Fulham do it, we've seen other sides do it, and when it gets to an extent where you're completely changing the philosophy, the style, the personnel that badly, I just don't know how, and it never works. QPR didn't work, Fulham didn't work, and you know, there's obviously loads of other examples that I just can't think of the top of my head right now, but it just doesn't really work, does it? That's why I put them 17th. I feel as if they're going to have so much quality in their side that they are going to be getting shock wins here and there. But all in all, over the course of a season, I can't see them getting higher than 15th, say. So I've put them 17th, guys. Yeah, that's my Villa prediction, because, you know, when teams spend that much money, you kind of lose the whole philosophy and the style and the whole gel of your side, and that's why I've tipped them to go 17th in the Premier League this season. Now on to Newcastle, who I've gone ahead and put in the 16th position. Maybe a little bit harsh, maybe a bit too high. You know, some of you guys would have tipped Newcastle to go down, I think. with no Rafa, no Rondon, no Iosi Perez, you know, they've lost big names there, big part of their squad. Newcastle fans will be a little bit livid with that. But Steve Bruce has come in, and I back him, I actually do. I think he's made some good additions to the Newcastle side. That's why I can see them coming 16th. You know, whether 16th is where Newcastle want to be, I'm not sure. They probably want to be a little bit higher, but I think they're going to have to settle for that, at least for this season. You know, Joe Ellington, I can see him banging some goals this season, but I don't think they're going to be doing that well this season, Newcastle. I just feel losing Rafa, losing Rondon up front, losing Perez in behind him, you know. So many important, vital parts of Newcastle gone there. And I feel as if he's going to take something to make up for. But I can see Steve Bruce doing a solid job, and I've tipped them to come 16th. Into 15th now on Crystal Palace. This was actually a side I tipped maybe to go down. I was contemplating whether to put them 18th or not, but in the end I've moved them up to 15th. They didn't spend that much money in the window, even though they sold Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They nearly sold Zaha, blocked that in the end. How's that going to play out though? Is Zaha going to perform for them? Is he going to want to perform for them? I'm not sure. I think they were I thought they were more worried that maybe if they sold Zaha, they wouldn't have enough time to spend all that money they got for him. But now after the selling of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, they've got a lot of funds. If they can stay in the Premier League, they can definitely use that big time next season. But in terms of this season right here, I've gone ahead and put them 15th. I feel as if they are good, and I rate Roy Hodgson as a manager, so I feel as if with their determination, you know, with some of the performances they can put in, I feel as if they could definitely get this 15th spot. But, you know, will Zaha perform? I'm not sure, and I feel as if he's a massive part of Crystal Palace, so I can't put them any higher than 15th, I'm afraid. On to 14th spot now, and I've gone ahead and put Burnley. I do back Dyche to keep them in the Premier League again this season. You know, considering they finished 7th that year, you know, they'd probably be thinking we can build on this, but they haven't been able to. They've kind of got a little bit worse, and, you know, they're much more like a grit and determination side now. You know, they just grind out results. The addition of Drinkwater is a good one, but it's only until, you know, the 6th of January or the 5th of January, so how long that's going to last or how useful that's going to be, I don't know. Haven't made a lot of additions, but their grit and determination should be able to get them across the line in the end here. 14th will be, you know, a Burnley style of finish. You can see them drawing a lot of games 0-0, you know, holding out the top 6 at home especially. But, you know, for me they're just too boring. There's nothing special about Burnley. There's nothing that really gets you off your seat when you're watching Burnley. But for that reason, I do feel as if they will be able to sustain a solid 14th spot finish in the Premier League this season. But, you know, in terms of going any higher than that, you know, into European spots again, they haven't got that this season, and they certainly didn't have it last season either. So I've won 14th for Burnley. Into 13th now, and this is going to be Southampton, another side that actually hasn't done too much at all in the window. You know, they've brought Ings in, they've sold a couple of players here and there, such as Matt Targett to Villa, but other than that, their squad is very much the same, and I feel as if that is going to be one of the reasons they do have a good season this year. Stability is going to be vital for them. You know, they're going to be a big group now, Southampton. They're going to be a squad that's together, united. Under Hassan Hutel now, he's going to be able to get them the way he wants, or to get them playing the way he wants. I feel as if that's going to be vital for Southampton this season. I feel as if we could actually see a quite impressive season from the Saints. So I've tipped them to come 13th here. You know, there's some other good sides in there who I'd probably put above them, as you guys will see later, but you know, I think that they're going to be definitely elevating out of towards, you know, the relegation sort of zones. And I actually do kind of back them to have a solid season under Hassan Hutel. And I am excited to see what they can do, you know, with a solid squad, with a squad that isn't going to be changed too much. How is that going to play out for them? You know, is it going to be, we have no impetus here, nothing's changed? Or is it actually going to be, we're a lot more solid now, we're a better block, we're more consistent? We'll have to wait and see. On to Watford now, who also had a pretty solid summer, actually, in my opinion. You know, they didn't bring in too much, which is again good. Like I said at Southampton, they brought in Sarr towards the end of the window, which could be a good one, you know, the Rennes player. But they didn't lose too much also. Again, stability, vital. Didn't lose Doucouré in particular, kind of the main player for Marco Silva here at Watford. I think that could be vital for them. But, you know, again, we won't be seeing anything too special from Watford this year. We won't be seeing anything, you know, awful from them either. I think in maybe the future years, Watford fans probably want Watford to be, you know, doing a little bit better, you know, pushing on to 8th and 10th and those sort of positions. But as of now, you know, again, they're kind of just going to be cruising along this season. They have some quality in there, of course they do. You know, getting to the FA Cup final last season, they got battered in the end by City, but who doesn't? And yeah, I think they got nice quality. You know, Sarr, Dawson and Welbeck, all good additions. But do they have the quality to really push onto the European spots? I wouldn't say so. Having said that, they've kept hold of Doucouré. They've got a solid little batch in there of players. I do back them to have another solid season, but 12th is where I'm going to play place in Watford. On to Bournemouth now, who I've gone ahead and put 11th. You know, I do back Bournemouth to have another really successful season. They had a good window, Bournemouth. They kept hold of some important players, you know, King, Wilson, Fraser, Ake. None of those guys left. They got money out of Mings and Mousse, who were surplus to requirements for them, and they brought in Billing, they brought in Kelly from Bristol City, and they brought in Danjuma Grunewald. We'll have to wait and see what he can do from Bruges. He scored a great goal in the Champions League last season against Atleti, and he has shown some promising sparks actually in the past. I do like him as a player, Danjuma. What can he provide to the Premier League though? We'll have to wait and see. But again, it should be another impressive season for Bournemouth. They kept hold of a lot of their players. When you actually look at their side, it's very accomplished, it's very good. I feel as if every season Eddie Howe's building on this Bournemouth side, and it should be another really successful season for them. I'll put them 11. Now then guys, on to the top half of the Premier League season, and this half is filled with quality. This Premier League season, we are going to see some massive sides. We already seen some good ones, Southampton, Watford, Bournemouth in the bottom half. In the top half, all of these 10 teams I'm about to name here have a lot of quality. We'll start with Everton, who I've gone ahead and put 10th. Again, what a side they've got. Yes, they lost Idrissa Gueye, but they brought in Sidibe, Iwobi, Delph, Garmin, and also Moise Keane up front. Impressive window there from the manager. I think it's Marco Silva, isn't it? Or did I call the Watford manager Marco Silva? Apologies, he's Javi Gracia, of course. But yeah, Marco Silva here. And even Andre Gomes from last season they brought in from Barcelona on a permanent this year, so Everton have brought in a load of quality here, guys. They've had a great window, only losing Gueye, but they've brought in some brilliant players to replace him. And again, I'm seeing another Everton season where they're very difficult to beat. Can they perform though? Can they do it week in, week out? Because I've only put them 10th. I think there could be some other sides who are stronger than them. We haven't really seen what they can do so far, of course, because we haven't watched any games. But as a prediction, I'm going to put them 10th. It could have come back to bite me. I can definitely see them finishing 9th, 8th, or even maybe 7th. But 10th, I've gone ahead and put them. I can see them having some good games, but I can also see them going through a patch where they just win none. And yeah, that's why I've gone ahead and put Everton 10th. And I've gone ahead and put West Ham 9th here, guys. Yes, the side that just lost 5-0 to City, but Chelsea lost 6-0 to City last season and ended up coming 3rd and won the Europa League. So don't take losing to City as a way of predicting how your side's going to do this season. Fornals and Haller are both great additions in my opinion. The team is packed with quality and with consistency. This is a side that could definitely be pushing on to European football. Probably should be, and it's another one of those sides. In the next couple of years, they'll be thinking with these sorts of players, with this sort of quality, can we be pushing into Europe? Can we be putting pressure on that top 6? Because I think if this is going to be one of the seasons where Everton, the team we've got now, West Ham, Wolves and Leicester, who I'll get onto in a minute, are going to be pushing this top 6 and thinking, can we take one of your spots? Or can we take 2 or 3 or 4 of your spots? Because I feel as if the quality that we have in these sides here in the top half of the Premier League table is pretty better than we've ever had before. So West Ham, another example of this. Great side, great depth, great manager in Pellegrini. Hopefully for them, it's going to be an impressive season. I've put them 9th. In 8th, I've had to go for Wolves. I've not put them 7th this year, and you'll see who I've put there in a moment. Probably already obvious, but I've gone for Wolves 8th. Yes, European football could hurt them, but with their squad, with their signings, with their depth, with their quality, with their manager, I can't see them dropping any lower than 8. Everyone in the Premier League seems to love Wolves, and I think everyone loves what they're doing. Coming up from the Championship last season, doing that well, getting back into Europe, and now they're going to be playing Europe this season. How are they going to do in the Europa League, guys? By the way, let me know in the comment section down below. But in terms of the Premier League, they have so much quality in their side. Some of the signings they've brought in, Vallejo from Real Madrid, Cutrone up front. These are all great additions for them in my opinion, and there's just too much talent in that side to put it any lower than 8th. But I'm not going to be putting it 7th, because 7th I've gone for Leicester City. Stronger than Wolves? I don't know, this was a really hard one for me. The only reason I've put them 7th is because Brendan Rodgers, another great coach like Nuno Espirito Santos, who doesn't have Europa League football though. Rodgers and Leicester will not have that same issue that Wolves will have. They won't have to be rotating midweek. They won't have to be playing strong lineups midweek and then playing on Sundays and resting on the weekends. None of that for Rodgers this season. They got 80 million out of Maguire. They were able to bring in Tielemans, who was on loan at them last season, and Ayoze Perez, who did a great season, of course, at Newcastle, and is also Premier League proven at nipping in with goals. And if they can bring in him, who's helping them get goals, and the amazing squad they've already got, then let's be honest, guys, Leicester are in for a great season. And I've actually backed them to be that team this season, like Wolves were last year, to be the ones who are just outside the top 6. Wouldn't even be surprised to see them going in and taking off maybe Chelsea or United's spot there in 6th. But hey, we'll have to wait and see how all of that folds out. Maybe I'll look back and regret not putting Wolves or Everton or someone like that into this 7th spot. But I back Leicester this season. I feel this is also a lot of people do. And under Rodgers, I expect them to have a really successful season. Up now to 6th, and we've gone for my boys Chelsea. I'm afraid I just can't put us higher than 6th this season, as much as I would have liked to. I tried thinking 5th maybe. 4th. Can we get there with Lampard? Yes, we can. Of course we can. You know, we're not terrible, but we just got to be honest. You know, this year is going to be more exciting than anything else. It's going to be a load of young players coming in. A load of the old deadwood has gone now. You know, we're looking at Drinkwater who's gone. Bakayoko maybe could be going. Louise has gone. So, you know, these sorts of players have all left the club, and it's full of youth. But of course, we've lost Eden Hazard. You know, he's not going to be with us. And if we're looking at it, you know, I can't predict us any higher than 6th because our team isn't really stronger than Leicester's. It isn't really stronger than Wolves. It isn't really stronger than West Ham. It isn't even really stronger than Everton's. But just because of the fact we're Chelsea, we have that mentality. I can see us getting into Europa League football next season and in a 6th position too. You know, in the future this year, we could look back on it and think this was the year that Mount, Abraham, Reece James, Hudson-Odoi, that they all got regular first-team football week in, week out, and this would be vital. Maybe we're looking in 5 years' time when we're in a Champions League semi-final, and all these guys are starting. We'll think this was the season that they got that. Sure, it's a great season for that, but in terms of predicting what success we're going to have this season, I can't put us any higher than 6th. Could be a vital season for the future, but for now, 6th would have to do for the Blues. Into 5th, I've gone for Manchester United. I also think they're going to be missing out on Champions League football for a 2nd season straight. Having said that, Solskjaer should be getting more towards the United he wants. You know, he's had a pre-season now. He had all of that, half of that season last year. His team should be gelling together now, let's be honest. You know, they lost Lukaku, but they're going to be going with, you know, Martial, Greenwood and Rashford to be filling those boots of the big Belgian. And he's kind of building to, or he's more built his squad that he wants now, in my opinion, Solskjaer. You know, last year he would have had to deal with a lot of players that he didn't want there. This year, is this midfield good enough? I'm not sure, but you know, Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, James, they're all really good little additions in my opinion. All players that, in my opinion, are also very suited to the Premier League, which is going to be vital for United, I think. I can see them pushing the top 4. They're more settled defensively. They could win a trophy this year, but it's not going to be the Premier League for me, and I don't even think they're going to get top 4. I've had to leave them outside. Tough decision, yes. But I think they're in a similar position to us. You know, are they good enough? Are they really good enough for the Champions League football? I don't know. Into 4th, we're going to be going with Arsenal. It's a sort of position we used to be seeing them in the last decade now. And I kind of see them coming there again. They needed a centre-back, they got Luiz. Not the best, you know, if you're looking for someone to shore up your defence, you don't exactly look to David Luiz immediately, do you? But considering he was 8 million and it was just there to be taken, he's Premier League proven, you might as well. And taking him off a rival too isn't never as bad, is it? Let's be honest. They needed some big players. They got them in. You know, they got Saliba. He's not going to be joining until next year. They got Tierney to help the left-hand side. Kolasinac and Monreal just go missing halfway through the season. A lot for Arsenal. You know, they've got Ceballos in midfield. They've got Pepe in attack. They're full of quality now, Arsenal. And really, they should be putting pressure on the likes of City and Liverpool this season. If they're not, then they've got to start looking at themselves, because with that team, it's full of quality, it's full of ability, it's full of stability, it's full of depth to it. You know, they've got players off the bench they can bring on to, you know, help change games. Should be doing something big this season, Arsenal, but with the other quality we've got in the Premier League this season, can't see them getting any higher than 4th. On to 3rd now, I've gone ahead and gone with Spurs. They've had a brilliant window, you know, we can't deny it. They didn't get Dybala, but you know, they've got so many options in attack, it shouldn't really matter. They're just looking so strong this year. They already had all that stability from all those seasons without signing players under Pochettino, and now they've got Lo Celso in, they've got Ryan Sessegnon in, they've got Ndombele in. You know, I feel as if they could be going for something big this year. They want a trophy, but I can't see them getting it. It's not going to be the Prem anyway. I've gone ahead and put them 3rd. I can definitely see them getting Champions League football again, and also having another great Champions League run, just like they did last year, all the way to the final. But I can't put them any higher than 3rd, I'm afraid. Liverpool and Man City just too strong for me. And I'll put Spurs 3rd because they've made so many good additions, and you know, the best of the rest, as you know, that you could say, because Liverpool and Man City in a league of their own. You know, they used to say the best of the rest was, you know, whoever came 7th out of the top 6. But in my opinion, Liverpool and Man City have just taken this league to a whole new level. And you know, if you're the best of the rest, then you're 3rd, really. And now on to those 2nd and 1st spots. This is where it really gets interesting. Who I decided to win the Premier League this season? Well, I can tell you now, in 2nd spot, I've gone for Liverpool. I just had to, guys. They haven't really done a lot of business this year. But I can actually see them working. I can actually see that working for them. You know, their squad is going to be more united than ever. Klopp's going to rally his team up again. He's going to get them motivated again. And in my opinion, I can see them going all the way this year again. I really can. I can see them grinding out results. I can see them continuing to score goals. I can see them continuing to get better and better as the weeks continue, building up more fitness. And actually, right now, Klopp's Liverpool are actually similarly reminding me to Valverde's Barca in La Liga. You know, the way they're grinding through match weeks, they're getting results. is helping them to, challenge for leagues. If they were in a Liga, they'd probably win it, or at least challenge with Barcelona right to the final day. But with City, it's just so hard to do anything. Klopp's doing a great job with Liverpool right now. He's gotten to where he wanted to be. They've got that European trophy under their belt, and now they're going to be pushing for this Premier League this season. In my opinion, I think they're going to push Liverpool or City even till the final match days, as they did last year. Are they going to win it? I just say no. I just feel as if Guardiola City are too strong. And on that note, they're going to be coming third, or first, of course. City again and again. Guardiola on the wheel. It's too much, in my opinion. It's too much for the rest of the Premier League. Even look today, West Ham away. As a Chelsea fan, West Ham away is a game I'm scared for this season. City are going to be coming off the back of that game, thinking we only scored 5 there. We could have got more. They're a joke of a side, but even beside that, Roger and Cancelo, great additions. They've already got Walker and Fernandinho in those positions, so they don't care. They'll just keep on strengthening. They'll keep on putting in money into the positions they need. Their depth is ridiculous. With Guardiola as the manager, I can see them making it 3 Premier Leagues in a row. Liverpool, as I said, will push them to the end. They'll keep on grinding out. They'll keep on pushing them. They'll stick together as a group and as a side. But City are going to come out on top again, in my opinion, and win the Premier League for the 3rd season straight. Guardiola's 4th as the manager, and his 3rd trophy in the Barclays Premier League, or the English Premier League as it is now. I back City to win this one. Liverpool are going to be up there with them. Spurs 3rd, Arsenal 4th, United and Chelsea in those Europa League spots. Those are my final predictions for the Premier League this season. So that's where this video comes to an end. A lot of talking, a lot of discussion, a lot of putting out points as to where teams are going to come. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comment section down below. I'd be really interested to see what you guys think, especially about the bottom half of the table. It's something I was really struggling to predict. But as I said, I feel as if the teams in the top half are so strong this season that we're going to be seeing a cracking Premier League season. You'd be able to think that West Ham, Everton, those sorts of sides can actually challenge with the top 6, other than the likes of Liverpool and Man City, who are just in a league of their own, in my opinion. Especially the latter there, City. They're ridiculous right now, guys. West Ham away 5-0. Are you kidding me? On the opening day. That's not even a City in their full flow. That's a City coming off a mediocre pre-season. 5-0 at the London Stadium with that quality of a West Ham side. It's ridiculous. So yeah, City's win it again. Who's going to go down? I've said Sheffield, Norwich and Brighton in Sheffield 20th, Brighton 19th, Norwich 18th. Only just to go down there, guys, ahead of Villa. And yeah, that's where this video is going to come to an end. Please do drop a like if you have enjoyed it. I'll be back soon for some more videos. Do not worry, we're going to be starting the season soon, so all sorts of those videos. Chelsea reaction videos, I think so. Barcelona previews and reviews, I think so, boys. A lot more of that sort of stuff's going to be coming up. Until then, enjoy your days and goodbye.